For Navy SEALs are sent deep into enemy territory on what should have been a quiet surveillance mission. No heavy fighting, no direct contact, just observation. But in the middle of one of the most dangerous mountain regions in Afghanistan, everything goes wrong. A single decision exposes their position. Within hours, they are surrounded on all sides by armed fighters who know the terrain better than they do. Cut off from support, outnumbered, injured, and running out of time. What started as a simple mission turns into a desperate fight for survival, in a place where rescue is almost impossible. And by the end of it, only one of them will make it out alive. Before the mission begins, the film shows what it takes to become a Navy SEAL. The training is brutal. Recruits are pushed to their physical and mental limits through endless running, swimming, obstacle courses, and exhaustion. Every day is designed to test one question: who is willing to keep going when their body wants to quit? Many candidates drop out. Others are forced to leave after injuries or mistakes. Only a small number make it through. The purpose of this training isn't just to build strong soldiers. It's to create warriors who can remain calm under pressure, make decisions in chaos, and trust the men fighting beside them. Among these elite operators are 4 SEALs who have already proven themselves time and time again: Marcus Luttrell, Michael Murphy, Danny Dietz, and Matthew Axelson. Each man brings different strengths to the team, but what truly makes them effective is the bond they share. They train together, they deploy together, and they trust each other with their lives. Their friendship goes far beyond military duty. Years of training and combat experience have turned them into a family. In dangerous situations, they don't need long conversations or detailed explanations. A quick glance or simple hand signal is often enough. That level of trust can only be built through countless hours spent facing challenges together. As the film continues, it's clear that these aren't ordinary soldiers. They belong to one of the most respected special operations forces in the world. When missions are too dangerous for conventional units, teams like theirs are called in. Whether it's gathering intelligence, tracking high-value targets, or operating deep behind enemy lines, they are expected to accomplish objectives that others cannot. Because of their experience and reputation, they are selected for a critical mission in Afghanistan. At first, it seems like a straightforward operation. The goal is to enter hostile territory, locate a dangerous Taliban leader, and report his location. But none of them know that this mission is about to become one of the deadliest battles of their lives. Under the cover of darkness, the team boards a helicopter and flies toward the rugged mountains of eastern Afghanistan. As they approach the landing zone, the vast wilderness below reminds them how isolated they will be. There will be no roads, no nearby support, and very little chance of rescue if something goes wrong. After landing, the SEALs begin their long trek through steep cliffs, thick forests, and rocky terrain. Every step must be taken carefully because a single mistake could reveal their position to enemy fighters hiding in the area. Despite the difficult conditions, the team remains focused. They move quietly through the mountains, scanning the landscape and searching for signs of the Taliban commander. At first, everything appears to be going according to plan, but hidden among the mountains, a decision awaits them. One that will change the mission forever and place all 4 men in unimaginable danger. As the SEALs continue observing the valley below, everything seems to be going according to plan. Their position is hidden. The enemy has no idea they are there, and the mission is still on track. Then, without warning, the team hears movement nearby. Moments later, several local goat herders stumble directly into their hiding position. The encounter catches everyone by surprise. Within seconds, the SEALs detain the civilians and secure the area. Now the team faces a serious problem. The goat herders have seen them. If released, they could alert nearby Taliban fighters and expose the mission. If they remain detained, the SEALs will have to decide what to do with them. The 4 men gather to discuss their options. Tension fills the air. Every choice carries enormous consequences. Some members of the team worry that releasing the civilians could put the mission and their lives at risk. Others argue that harming unarmed civilians would violate the rules they have sworn to follow. The debate becomes one of the most important moments in the entire story. There is no easy answer, no perfect solution, only difficult choices. After weighing the risks, the team ultimately decides to release the goat herders and allow them to leave. It is a decision based on their values, training, and commitment to doing what they believe is right. The civilians gather their animals and disappear into the mountains. As they watch them leave, the SEALs know that the mission has suddenly become far more dangerous. Now all they can do is wait and hope that their position remains undiscovered. But deep down, each of them understands the reality of the situation. If the goat herders report what they saw, enemy fighters could be heading toward them at any moment. The team returns to their observation post and continues monitoring the area. Minutes pass, then more minutes. The mountains remain silent. For a brief moment, it seems like they may have avoided disaster. But that feeling doesn't last long. Soon, signs of movement begin appearing throughout the valley. The SEALs realize something is wrong. Very wrong. Enemy fighters are gathering, and they're moving directly toward the team's location. The mission is no longer a covert surveillance operation. It's about to become a fight for survival. Within minutes, the team realizes their worst fears have become reality. Their position has been compromised. Enemy fighters are closing in from multiple directions. The SEALs immediately begin moving, hoping to avoid being surrounded. But it's already too late. Gunfire suddenly erupts across the mountainside. Bullets tear through the trees as Taliban fighters open fire from elevated positions. The team instantly returns fire. What was supposed to be a covert reconnaissance mission has transformed into a full-scale battle. The SEALs are heavily outnumbered. Enemy fighters continue appearing from every direction, using their knowledge of the terrain to gain an advantage. Despite the overwhelming odds, the four men fight with incredible discipline and determination. Years of training take over. They communicate quickly, cover each other's movements, and respond to every attack with precision. But the enemy keeps coming. The mountains echo with gunfire as the battle intensifies. Realizing they cannot hold their current position, the team begins retreating down the steep mountainside. To avoid enemy fire, they are forced to throw themselves down rocky cliffs and steep slopes. Each fall leaves them bruised, battered, and injured, yet somehow they continue fighting. Every time they reach a new position, more enemy fighters appear. The SEALs fire back, slowing the attackers while desperately searching for a way out. But with every passing minute, the situation becomes more dangerous. The team is exhausted, their ammunition is limited, and the enemy seems endless. For the first time, the possibility of survival begins to slip away. Still, none of them are willing to quit. They continue fighting side by side, determined to protect one another no matter the cost. As the firefight rages across the mountains, the team realizes they need help. Without communication, there is no chance of rescue. And without rescue, their fate may already be sealed. Desperate and running out of options, they begin searching for a way to contact headquarters. But reaching help will require an extraordinary act of courage. As the battle continues, the SEALs find themselves trapped in a nightmare. The enemy keeps advancing. No matter how many fighters they push back, more seem to appear from the surrounding mountains. The four men are exhausted, injured, and running out of options. Every movement is a struggle. The steep terrain that once helped conceal them has now become another obstacle standing in their way. As they retreat down the mountainside, they are forced to jump, slide, and fall down rocky cliffs to escape enemy fire. Each impact leaves new injuries. Cuts, bruises, broken bones, and gunshot wounds begin taking their toll. Yet somehow they keep moving. The SEALs repeatedly attempt to establish contact, but the mountainous terrain blocks their signals. Without communication, no one knows where they are. No one knows they are under attack, and no one is coming to help. As the firefight drags on, the physical and emotional strain becomes unbearable. The team has already endured more than most soldiers experience in an entire career. Still, they refuse to surrender. They continue fighting, protecting each other, and pushing forward despite impossible odds. But everyone understands the truth. If they cannot contact headquarters soon, the battle may already be lost. Realizing this, Lieutenant Michael Murphy makes a decision that will define his legacy forever. Knowing the risk, he prepares to leave cover and expose himself to enemy fire in order to call for help. It's a choice that could save the team, but it may cost him everything. Lieutenant Michael Murphy understands the reality of the situation. If no message gets through, the team will be left completely alone. Knowing this, he makes an extraordinary decision. Leaving the protection of cover, Murphy moves into an exposed area where he might be able to get a signal. It's an incredibly dangerous choice. The moment he steps into the open, enemy fighters can see him. Bullets begin flying in his direction, but Murphy refuses to back down. Ignoring the gunfire around him, he focuses on one thing: contacting headquarters. Finally, he manages to establish communication. Speaking calmly despite the chaos surrounding him, he reports the team's position and requests immediate assistance. He knows every second matters. The information he provides could be the difference between life and death for his teammates. As enemy fire intensifies, Murphy continues relaying critical details. His courage under pressure is remarkable. Most people would be focused only on their own survival. Murphy is focused on saving his team. Eventually, the call is completed. Headquarters now knows what is happening. Help is on the way, but the cost of making that call is enormous. Murphy has exposed himself to extreme danger in order to give his teammates a chance. Back on the mountainside, the battle continues. The remaining SEALs fight desperately to hold their position while waiting for reinforcements to arrive. Every minute feels like an hour. Every sound raises hope that help may finally be coming. Then, in the distance, they hear something. The unmistakable sound of approaching helicopters. Rescue forces are finally on their way. But what should have been a moment of relief is about to turn into another tragedy. The enemy is waiting, and the rescue mission is about to face the same deadly battlefield. But the enemy hears the helicopters too. The approaching aircraft immediately become targets. From positions scattered across the mountains, enemy fighters prepare to attack. As one of the rescue helicopters moves into the area, disaster strikes. The aircraft is hit and crashes, creating a devastating scene in the mountains below. In an instant, what was supposed to be a rescue operation becomes another tragedy. The crash changes everything. The team realizes that even the forces sent to save them are facing incredible danger. The battlefield has become even more chaotic. Back on the mountainside, the surviving SEALs continue fighting despite exhaustion and severe injuries. Every movement is painful. Every decision becomes harder. Yet they refuse to give up. Their training, determination, and loyalty to one another keep them moving forward. The enemy continues pressing the attack. Ammunition is running low. As the battle finally begins to fade, the mountains fall silent. The constant gunfire that had echoed across the valley for hours slowly disappears. What remains is devastation. The mission has failed. The rescue attempt has ended in tragedy. And Marcus Luttrell is left alone. Wounded, exhausted, and barely able to move, Marcus struggles through the harsh Afghan mountains. His body is covered in injuries. Every step causes pain. Every breath reminds him of everything he has endured. Yet stopping is not an option. Enemy fighters are still searching the area. If they find him, he won't survive. Using every ounce of strength he has left, Marcus continues moving through the wilderness. He hides among rocks, crawls through rough terrain, and does everything possible to avoid detection. Hours pass, then more hours. Alone in enemy territory, Marcus fights a different battle now, the battle to stay alive. Eventually, his journey takes an unexpected turn. A group of local villagers discovers him. At first, Marcus doesn't know what to expect. After everything that has happened, trusting strangers feels impossible. But instead of turning him over to the Taliban, the villagers decide to help. Following an ancient code of honor, they take him into their village and offer him protection. It is an incredibly dangerous decision. The Taliban soon learns that an American soldier may be hiding there. Enemy fighters arrive and begin demanding information. They pressure the villagers and threaten them with violence. But the villagers refuse to betray their guest. Despite the risks to themselves and their families, they stand by their decision. Meanwhile, word of Marcus's survival slowly reaches American forces. A new rescue operation is organized. This time, soldiers move carefully through the region, determined to bring him home. As the search continues, Marcus waits and hopes that help will arrive before the enemy does. Finally, after days of uncertainty, American forces reach the village. Marcus is rescued and brought to safety. The nightmare is finally over, but the mission has left scars that will never fully disappear. The memories of the battle, the sacrifice of his teammates, and the courage shown by those who protected him will stay with him forever. With Marcus Luttrell finally safe, the film begins to reflect on the true cost of Operation Red Wings. What started as a reconnaissance mission became one of the most devastating battles faced by American Special Operations Forces during the war in Afghanistan. The mission changed countless lives forever. For Marcus, survival came with a heavy burden. Although he made it home, he would never forget the men who fought beside him. Michael Murphy, Danny Dietz, and Matthew Axelson had stood together until the very end, displaying extraordinary courage under impossible circumstances. Their actions became a symbol of loyalty, sacrifice, and commitment to one another. The film also honors the rescue personnel who risked everything while attempting to save the trapped team. Many brave men answered the call without hesitation, knowing the dangers that awaited them. Their sacrifice serves as a reminder of the risks military personnel face in service to others. As the story comes to a close, viewers are reminded that the events shown in the film are based on real people and real sacrifices. Behind every military operation are individuals with families, friends, dreams, and lives beyond the battlefield. Lone Survivor is not simply a story about war. It is a story about brotherhood, a story about courage, and a story about the determination to keep fighting even when the odds seem impossible. The film ends by paying tribute to those who lost their lives and those who continue carrying their memory forward. Their legacy remains a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit and the bonds formed between those who serve together. And with that, the story of Operation Red Wings comes to an end. A mission that began with 4 elite Navy SEALs entering the mountains of Afghanistan would become one of the most remembered military stories of its generation. But for the men who lived it, it was never about fame or recognition. It was about duty, it was about loyalty, and it was about never leaving a brother behind.